All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is a show where we try and sort every song ever into one of two categories, either a love song
or a fight song.
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah, and this is episode 110 of our show.
Yeah, that's right. And that little, very short intro that you just heard is the kind of like pickup note, the one little thing you get as an intro for a song called Kind Reminder by Proxima, Parada. And the album is from September of 2019. Kind Reminder is also the album. So it's the
title track.
The title track, yeah. And the song we're doing. So, not much so far, other than one piano chord.
Yeah, I will say though that really sets the mood and like kind of represents the song really well. It's just kind of like a cool like slide on the piano that sounds really cool, and there's a good bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
But let's maybe just get right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit more.
Man.
Yeah, it's very, very sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really moody and really subdued. It's just, like you were saying, like slides on the piano, just piano chords, and then a person almost like trying to sing slow.
Yeah, like it's a good point. It sounds like he's having to like slow himself down.
Mm-hmm. Which I've heard people say that songs under a certain beats per minute, like say if you think you're pretty nice with rhythm and you can remember or feel one beat per second, that anything below that is so hard. It's just a natural tendency to speed it up as you're performing it. And then I think maybe especially performing it, if you know that like we're recording this is important, or you're doing it live, you know that it's like the human like adrenaline, fight or flight makes you speed up the piece.
Yeah.
But he's like really deliberate, and I promise not to do this on purpose, but talking about fight or flight, like the lyrics or how many people
had to
survive so that you could arrive. It's kind of interesting. Think about like you wouldn't be here if not for a whole bunch of perfect natural selection.
Yeah, it reminds me of my favorite John Craigie song, who I've talked about a little bit recently, but it's called Dissect the Bird. And he has a whole verse kind of about like everything that had to happen as far as evolution and billions of disease surviving and species surviving, you know, just for us to get here.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I found the beginning of this song, like that little chorus, once we get the other chorus, this is really like a half a chorus.
Yeah.
But whatever this section of the song is, I find it really almost like repetitive on purpose. Obviously it's repetitive, just the two lines, but like repetitive for effect. Almost like a person in like a worship song, like slowing down one part, repeating it over and over again.
Yeah, so everyone can sing along.
Or somebody that like Piano Man by Billy Joel, which is like a major hit. I imagine Billy Joel has to like get the crowd mentally and emotionally ready for that song. Like,
yeah.
I want to play around with the intro a little bit, see who recognizes it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like the vibe I get from the intro. Because like we're talking about how the way he sings it, the way the piano is, the way there's not any other instruments in, and the way it's just like these kind of big existential rhetorical questions, like what how would I ever know the answer to that?
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of interesting too. I wish I could remember some of the numbers, but I just watched a video on like how many people have existed so far, and kind of comparing that to how many people could ever exist. Which, you know, that is a lot of speculation.
Yeah,
of course, but and it depends on like, you know, how humans survive and how long, and if we make it to other planets and stuff. But it is.
Yeah.
Like you said, very existential and a lot to wrap your head around. Yeah.
Especially because the Georgia Guidestones, RIP, said don't let the population get over 500 million.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah, is that like for the country or the world? Because either way.
Either way, yeah. Like, there's no real way to know how many people are in this country. They think they know, but, you know, obviously it's possible to count. So, like, it's weird. because whenever those were put up, if it meant the whole world, it was already out of date.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't been there that long.
Right.
I just think about them because recently they got knocked down.
Yeah, like bombed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very strange. I know. I always want to go see them, and I kept telling myself like eventually I'm going to make the drive, and it's too late now.
Yeah, I saw some article talking about them being destroyed. Said that they were sometimes called the Stonehenge of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Our Stonehenge.
Yeah. Darn. Too late.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. Well, should we move on? Get into this first.
Certainly.
My goodness. Dang, I love the way he sings.
I know. There's like a tone to his voice that I just don't understand and that I deeply envy.
Mm-hmm. Same, yeah. I wrote down Leon Bridges ? Because it sounds like some of the songs that are lesser known from Leon Bridges, especially from his first album, Coming Home.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like all those vocalized extra things, and Leon Bridges has a small crew of amazing backup singers, but he also likes to sing backup too.
Yeah.
Which, while Whitney, he can do that, and that's what it reminds me of. Because like this guy will sing, and then like a little ad lib before the next line.
Yeah. Some blues.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
And smooth.
And it's cool because if we're talking about the way that the first chorus or the thing right after the intro really draws you in, and like is almost like that thing where you can talk more slowly and quieter so that people like psychologically start to listen.
Mm.
People go like, they lean in like, wait, what are you saying? The beginning kind of does that.
Yeah.
And then it like really picks up in this first verse.
Yeah, it kind of like settles you into the groove. And I think I talk about this a lot, but I love a song that makes it feel like you're speeding up or slowing down when you're not really.
Mm-hmm.
And this first verse feels like that. Just the bass comes in like, and the tempo is really obvious, but the way that the piano changes and gets kind of bouncy with the bass makes it feel like the song is picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool.
Yeah, I know. I think that it does. I mean, I feel like there's no way they can be the same tempo. The beginning of that verse.
Dang, it's pretty rare to speed a song up.
Yeah, it is. It's really rare.
Cool.
I don't really quite know about the lyrics though. Like, I guess they're kind of tied in to the chorus, like how many people had to survive, because it mentions like ancient times and the Middle Ages.
Mm.
But the other stuff that you do get is really plain. It's like these obvious things that the narrator, the songwriter is glad they figured out. Like, you have a beautiful face, you're amazing. And then these other things are the opposite of that. Like, good, I got that sorted. That reminds me. Like, how many ancient stories, you know? Like, how is there stuff in your consciousness, in your DNA, that adds to your beauty? You know, not just your looks. Cool.
Yeah, for me that's the part that does connect it to the choruses. And I think in a pretty cool way. Like, they both say you, so he's still just talking about this person and like all that had to happen for like that person to be in his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. Also, several times I've listened to it, I can hear there's like a real like fretted sound that you can notice, or at least I can notice.
Mm-hmm.
Like the strings on the guitar and the bass are just so deliberate, and you can almost hear like the metal on wood at the same time.
Whoa. Yeah, this is definitely a good one for headphones.
Yeah.
Like, the production is very impressive and clear, and yeah, it's been very cool to listen to.
Yeah, clear is a good word for it. Yeah, it's really clear. I admire a mix like that because it's easy, or I would imagine it's easier than ever before with technology to put all kinds of things in there and little like fillers.
It up.
Yeah, but this is it seems like just a small, traditional kind of rock band.
Yeah, like, 4 pieces or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3 or 4. Well, it's gotta be 4. I really like how like crisp the hi-hat is too,
Mm-hmm.
with that cool bass line.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I like nice, old, heavy cymbals that you can really feel. I mean, crisp is a good word for it, but just, I don't know. It reminds me of like all the stuff at the beginning of a movie where they try and like test the stuff in the theater and show it off at the same time. And you're just sitting there like, There's a lot of companies involved in this, and it's like, well,
yeah.
they're also making sure like the sounds good, and it kind of reminds me of that. The drums or percussion in this song kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, cool. Just like, yeah, these mics are good. It's picking up this nice hi-hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. All right, we want to hear some more?
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear this chorus.
Yeah. Man, I love that guitar too.
Yeah.
It's like they've just kind of been gradually adding stuff in until they're like, this is where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really bluesy and jazzy and clean, like not a ton of effects.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool, like the tone doesn't need effects. Like they're
No.
coming straight from the guitar player's fingers, and just like how fast it is and how, I don't know, it kind of like sweeps up and down a scale, which I love and is always so, I don't know, impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, this song is full of just like great tone in every instrument.
Mm-hmm.
But especially that guitar and this guy's voice and the piano too.
Yeah.
Like there's just certain movements that like blend in really well with everything else that's happening. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, like at the very end, the way and a kind reminder is drawn out both times.
Yeah.
Not the same way both times.
Yeah.
It's like it has a little bit more.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I can kind of do whatever I want with this. And my band will be right there too.
Yeah. Yeah, because they do follow every little modulation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's cool.
Crazy.
And it's cool, like, dedication to sit down and be like, so I kind of want to vocalize the run like this. And then to be like, well, what is that? Like, hang on, I could do it because I'm on keys, so I'll just figure it,
Yeah.
And then the whole band has to figure out what they're going to do related to it. It's awesome.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
You reckon this chorus relates to the verses and the first chorus? Like, obviously, if two parts are in a song, they relate, but sometimes our relationship is to be contradictory, to be opposites.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that the please forgive everybody who's forgotten where they come from is kind of a separate thing to where did you come from and how have you gotten here, but it's like related? Saying like maybe she or this other person didn't want to answer that other question, so then to like get them talking and thinking about it, this like ask, this favor comes up. Like, don't, maybe we want to address that, but don't be hard on people that don't know where they came from, or don't know, I don't know, I almost read it as like, don't even know who they are, like don't know themselves.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people. I don't know about most people, but it's a lot of people, I would think.
Yeah, because it could be interpreted as like they don't know their ancestry and like, the origins of their family, or that they just like don't remember how they were raised. Yeah, and I think it is separate, maybe because of just how you just worded it, but to me it seems like whoever this you is, this other person in the song, this isn't an issue for them, and he's almost like asking them to forgive other people that don't know who they are.
Yeah, thank you. That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah,
like you seem so confident, comfortable. You seem so set in a good way, and somebody that admires that. I would just ask you like extend a little grace to people that aren't that way.
Yeah, that like, they don't know, like they can't even be on your level. Like,
yeah,
give them grace.
That's a good way to put it. Can't be on your level. And I also think this chorus, the real true chorus, it, like stretches it out to more than just two characters. Like it takes it to a second person. It's almost like a recipe. You know how a recipe is not to one person, it's to whoever reads it.
Yeah.
Like
do
first this. You do this, and it's like they don't need your back and hatred need your face, your embrace, and a kind reminder. It's kind of cool. So that, could be like, you know how when people read letters from famous historical figures, they're like, oh, me too. That's me. I'd like to tack onto that. Or people were like, and now we're going to read a speech given by this person 100 years ago, and everybody's like, wow, that applies today. I kind of think this is almost a similar thing. Like it's to this person and it's also to everybody else that happens to hear it.
Ooh, cool.
But I don't know. To me, the song means more if that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to one person, I still am, because they're going to hear this, but I'm talking to the audience too.
Yeah. Yeah, because those are just kind of like encouraging things. And even when a song is like very sweet and like romantic, maybe you wrote it, to just get across how you feel or to express yourself. But part of you has to be thinking like other people are gonna like think this could be about them, or that, for certain people it's gonna be about another loved one. But then for this one, it's just kind of like, hey, they need you. They need your face. And a little more like broad, it's less specific about like a relationship and just like very universal.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah, very cool. What about, it's cool, I really like all the little interludes. There'll be like a part and they'll be like, weren't those lyrics cool? Wasn't that vocal performance great? And like, do you want another like little fun thing to experience?
Yeah.
Man, yes. We don't deserve it, but yes, we do.
Yeah, no. And they fit so much into this, like, well, it's not even 4 minutes, is it? Yeah, barely. Barely not. But it felt a lot longer. I was like, man, because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that change.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, should we hear the second verse?
Yeah. Ooh, man.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's like maybe the coolest part of the song.
Yeah.
The way it moves from that second verse into like another jam. It's just so satisfying. Like, who came up with this?
Yeah, I know.
And I love those lyrics so much.
Me too. I really like the way the music complements the singing. Like, I noticed at the very beginning how many people had to die so you could be alive. The way this verse starts, there's like a real quick hi-hat like hit with a stick and shut. So it's almost like a how and then a H sound on a hi-hat.
Cool.
It's neat. It's like a inverted splash, rather than like sound belling out.
Yeah.
It like closes up, it like implodes. And then I really like the way that the ooze and the vocalized stuff, the guitar plays the same thing, and then the next one he'll play like something that counters it and complements it, and they'll play the same thing. It's so neat to be like, yeah, we're gonna have tons of rhythm, so all the instruments that people like to listen to and like ears are really drawn to, they get all the fun parts.
Yeah. I mean, this guitarist is having so much fun. And so are we listening to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think this verse kind of connects some of those separate things that we were talking about.
Big time.
I mean, it has literally combined like words from the two different parts that we were talking about. Like how many people had to die, and then when I'm looking at your face, which we had just kind of heard in the chorus.
Yeah. And then the same thing about like evolve into the most pure and informed and enlightened version of people that we've been yet. It's the face of a million and so much more.
Yeah.
That's cool to kind of like tile those ideas in and make it like, if you're an anthropologist or whatever, like from an anthropological standpoint of like, look, this is how faces
evolved.
Yeah, faces have gotten hotter. We're less like cavemen and more hot than we. And saying like related to a deeper, I don't know, a more important idea of like you bring in everything from people that have made the way for you to even be here like to the present.
Right. And then almost kind of like asks a favor.
Yeah, like in the chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool because in that it's a little bit like I'm asking a lot of you. I realize let me kind of like trade some goodwill with you and tell you a little bit about my heritage.
Yeah.
Or even if it's metaphorical, like fields of wheat and rows of thirsty seeds. Like it isn't a lot of parable and imagery and stuff to do with crops and growth and renewal. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I just think it's cool to be like, yeah, like I said, I'm asking you quite a few favors. This is a little bit about me.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, should we hear this little jam and then the chorus again?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Man, wow. It's like, we've talked about this so many times, but the song's a good example of being like, don't y'all love this chorus? And we're like, yeah, we do. And then they want to make sure the chorus is as good as it can possibly be.
Yeah. Yeah, because just taking that and a kind reminder and just like making it as big and like uplifting as possible.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And just like stretching it out and having fun with it. Because we thought it was like a big part where the music slowed down and got real dramatic already.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, well, but we can do more. Like, we got this.
Yeah, because the guitar's still just back there, like filling in any empty space. It's just like, yeah, I'm still here, still having fun.
Yeah.
And in some of those, and a kind reminder, those three of them right there, that really reminded me of Leon Bridges. Like, it just sounds a lot like him.
Yeah. Dang. Because maybe something about like the way that it's like the vowels or like the pronunciation and the tone.
Yeah.
The way the tone is so like soulful. But yeah, a lot of this singing reminds me of Leon Bridges.
Yeah.
Dang. And then we just have kind of like bookend, like the beginning again here at the end.
Yeah, I love a good song, a good bookended song.
Me too. Well, should we hear this like chorus outro?
Yeah, let's hear the rest.
Man, it's cool. It's like does the opposite of like a fade out and just like resolves nicely.
Yeah.
So good.
They don't want you to miss any of that. They don't want to turn it down for that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're like, I'm gonna bring the energy down, bring the speed down, and then like let that last piano chord ring out.
Yeah, it is a perfect way to bookend it. And like really, I mean, you said it with resolve, but it just like wraps it up really well.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it like resolves it from a narrative standpoint and like a music standpoint.
Yeah.
Like it just brings it, the last chord is like home, like right to the root. But then also it's like a good way to finish the piece.
Yeah, and like call back to other parts and everything. Yeah, it's a good pick. I don't know really anything about this band. The name seemed a little bit familiar, but I feel like I've just seen like Proxima. Like, I mean, that's a word, like Latin or something. But man, I'm definitely gonna check this album out.
Yeah, I know I had seen the album art, probably on just a playlist of like, here's cool kind of vibey songs that you might like, but this one was actually suggested. So I gotta say, I don't really know a ton about them either.
Dang, nice. Yeah, and on Spotify, there's just this really good, Spotify has all these like animated, like artwork for like certain songs. It seems like especially singles.
Yeah.
And this one's just like scrolling through records at a record store, and it's like Elvis and somebody I haven't heard of, and then this album. That's really cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that too. Like Primus, it was like a record store in a alphabetical order.
Right.
Like, okay. It's cool to be like, yeah, we're right in there. I mean, in a record store, they would be.
Yeah.
Like record stores have a great tendency to put like big established decades long bands with brand new bands or newish bands because it's like this is how whatever.
Yeah, this is how the alphabet works.
And you're supposed to just pick something at a record store and try it. So here it is. Boom. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, this is a super fun song, an interesting song.
Yeah, this is a really good pick. I hadn't really heard of the Hacky Turtles, and I went and listened to both of their albums.
Oh, cool.
And I was very pleased. I think I texted you about it even. Their first album gave me like Red Hot Chili Pepper vibes, so just someone else to compare them to.
Yeah.
But they're really fun, and I've gone back to those albums a few times. Even.
Wow, man.
Yeah, we've had a couple weeks, so I'm gonna definitely check these out.
Yeah. What do you feel like you know enough about this song at least to go first?
Yeah, I could go.
You okay?
Yeah, a lot of the words we used were like sweet and sultry, and it is kind of to a specific person. It's not a traditional like ballad or a love song. Like it's not on the surface very romantic, but if you think about it enough, it is. He's saying some really, really meaningful things in his lyrics, and it's not religious, but it does kind of have that energy, like gospel energy, but also like blues, which is a really cool pairing, and mentioning kind of ancestry almost makes it like spiritual, if nothing else, and to kind of put someone at the center of all of that, I think is very sweet and impactful and emotional, and with it, you know, starting out slow with just piano, and then ending similarly and kind of slowing things back down with those especially like sweet and romantic piano parts. I cannot see this being a love song. Even
Can't it be a love song?
so, no, I can't see this being a fight song.
Okay.
It's definitely a love song. You know, there's a part where it picks up and you're like, man, okay, this is a groove, and could make you want to move a little bit, but not enough to be considered like a party song or a dance song or anything like that.
Yeah, nice.
Love song for me.
Yeah, I was thinking very similar stuff. I mean, a lot of the imagery and like when I see your beautiful face, as opposed to, you know, when I see hot girls, when I see fine expletives,
Right.
you know, like, and also the way that there's some parts that slow down and are so schmaltzy. And I said Billy Joel earlier, but Billy Joel or Cat Stevens or some of those like songs that are classics that are like make even like dudes that pretend to only like Bruce Springsteen kind of emotional. They just like have to look away because it like makes them think about their dad or makes them think about their son or whatever.
Yeah.
Those kinds of songs, like to me, there's a few moments in this song that are like that, like tons of piano, tons of singing, tons of taking liberties with the melody in a great way. They made me think of like, man, this is like a piano-driven, lyric-driven ballad, and then it's just, but playing music's so fun. I want my friends with, and I want to bring them too.
Yeah. Very well said.
Because there's not a lot of like cymbal crashes and like big fills.
Right.
The percussion is just on a beat, keeping the tempo, and the bass is definitely grooving. You said there were a couple parts where it picks up, and I think that's a lot to do with the bass part.
Yeah.
But
Feel that more than you hear it, maybe.
yeah. But for me, with the bluesy kind of solos, with the lyrics, with the tempo overall of the song, and then the way that it can really slow down and just like grab your heartstrings in certain spots. And then I guess lastly, the main theme of like be forgiving and empathetic to people that aren't as blessed as you aren't as, frankly, important as you. I know that's messed up, but I just mean from this narrator's perspective.
Yeah, certainly.
All these people that are average don't matter to me as much as you matter to me.
Yeah, that aren't the you.
Mm-hmm. So for all that, I say love song also.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. So hopefully other people were more familiar with this band than us.
Yeah, seriously. I don't see how we weren't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, shout out to Heather.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff.
So you'll let us know if you liked it, what you think of the song. Let us know if we got it wrong. Let us know if you're like, well, but musically it's more along the lines of a party song, therefore fight song.
Yeah, actually, this guy's ancestry is not very pleasant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dang.
Yeah. Yeah, reach out, say something. Thank you so much for listening
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
and watching.
Cam, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's good stuff. We'll talk to you all next week.